And I'm going to show you guys how I basically saved 40 hours writing the follow-up sequence I promised. So let's click GPT-4. Yeah, so hold on one second. Let's do this. Let me see if it saved. Oh, no, it didn't. Let's see if it changes. Let's see. Yeah, this is it right here. Hold on. I just wanted, I'm feeling lazy and I didn't want to have to rewrite the prompt. What I wanted to show you was this thing in action. So, oh no, never mind. I'm gonna have to rewrite the prompt. Okay. So the interesting thing about ChatGPT is you literally have to give it instructions like it's an 18-year-old private who has two parents who are related from the mountains of Arkansas. And so this is what I mean by that. Do not use multiple syllables, or like don't try to keep your words to 3 syllables or less and simple sentence structures. So I'm gonna write this. Okay, you are a luxury design build remodeler. Let's see, you are a luxury design build remodeler. You suspect your prospect who is ghosting you, okay? Then you're gonna write, please write, let's say 32 witty, funny, and sincere emails that are not corny or use that are not corny and are appropriate. Okay. You are following up with the prospect to schedule a free budget and design concept meeting where they will receive a refined budget scope, receive a refined budget estimation and project scope in order to eliminate the risk of change orders that will break their budget, and go past and force projects past deadline. One other thing I want to put in there is, according to a house study, 77% of remodel projects go over budget by and past deadline by at least 18%. All right, so I threw a stat in there. All right, who's feeling lucky? Let's hit the green button. And I'm going to scroll all the way down. Oh, we're missing it. Look at this. Go, GPT, go. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, continue generating. So these are a little too corny. So, okay, so rewrite these emails to be more serious, but still witty. I could do this all day. Keep going. All right, this is more on the money. So we'll let this thing go. And at that point, anyway, anybody here, they're mind blowing? Because I'm telling you right now, being a really old school marketer, I used to have to pay a copywriter 30 hours to, basically an hour an email at $100 an email. Let's take a look at these things. Like he even numbered them for us, so we know where we're at. So yeah, your budget superhero awaits. That's kind of corny, but whatever. I hope this email finds you in high spirits, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so you just go through and you keep telling it, okay, to write. And then what you end up with is a sequence like this that I use, right? And I'll read this off to you. Subject, let's keep those budget busters at bay. Hey, Brian, I hope this email finds you well and still eager to conquer those remodeling challenges head on. I noticed you recently used our estimating calculator, and I wanted to follow up on that. At CQC Home, we understand the frustration of projects going over budget. That's why we're offering a complimentary budget and design concept. Our experts will guide you through a comprehensive plan that estimates those dreaded change orders, ensuring your projects stay on track financially. To get started, simply click the link below and schedule a quick 30-minute appointment with us. Let's take control of your remodel and bid farewell to budget surprises, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they get that email the same time they get a text message. Hey, Brian, it's Lane with CQC. Just wanted to follow up on the email I sent you about our complimentary budget and design concept session. Let's chat about how we can eliminate change orders and keep your remodel on budget. Can we schedule a quick 30-minute call? Let me know. Pretty professional, right, guys? I mean, could you ask for anything more from your sales guys? I mean, sure, they could probably, be a little bit more, I don't know, not adult, but like witty, whatever. The point is, what we want to do, where most people fuck up in their follow-up is they don't connect it to solving a problem that the homeowner has. Remember, what's the number one thing that all homeowners are terrified of? Going over budget, number one, and a close second is going past deadline. They've all been at the cocktail parties and heard their asshole brother-in-law talk about how their home was a freaking war zone for 9 months when it was only supposed to take 6 weeks. They've all heard these stories, right? So let's tap into that collective consciousness and start flicking that nerve for why they should have an appointment with us. Does that make sense, guys? And so I literally wrote this with ChatGPT in 15 minutes, and it's a 32 email, 32 text session. If you'd like it, at the end of the seminar, I'm going to create a special module in files called Shit Lane Promised You. And that's where you're going to find the ChatGPT prompt for your follow-up. That's where you're going to find, what else did I promise? Oh yeah, the calculator plugin I promised you. What else do you guys want? In fact, I'll even throw this one in there too. But yeah, so anyhow, now a pro gamer move, guys. Once you have GPT spitting out a sequence that you like, the next time let's say you have a competitor comes in and happens to be using my base responses, and it's starting to piss in your Wheaties. No big deal. Literally just copy and paste the entire base prompt like this. I'm going to do it in front of you. Hold on. Let's see if this works, because there's always days and times associated with it. Yeah, just give me a moment. So if you want to personalize this, what I would do is copy and paste all these bad boys. And I would go back to GPT and I would say, okay, this is my follow up sequence. Okay. With the days and times each email and SMS should go out, or text message / SMS should go out to the prospect. We are a luxury design build remodeler following up with a prospect who failed to schedule an appointment and is ghosting us. Please rewrite each of my SMS and text and email messages. Oh, no. Stop. Holy shit. Stop generating, dude. So I'm going to post all these in here. All right. And I'm going to then I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to take my prompt, copy. All right. So now it's going. All right. This message was too long, whatever. So you'd have to go hand by hand. Let's do that. And let's try this again. We're going to go, there we go. So I'm going to type the prompt, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an email from this, day one email. Okay. Just do it hand by hand if you have to. Copy. And then enter. Okay. So boom, it just rewrote it. Just like that. All good. So there it goes. So you feed it one of your seeds, and there it goes. That way we can provide instant customization. And quite frankly, forgive my language, but unless this thing thinks it's some sort of erotic chatbot, and as long as it's sticking to the main points of what's in it for the customer and redirecting them to schedule an appointment, I don't really fucking care what it says. Give me a 2 if that makes sense. Because nobody else is reading into this. They'll be like, okay, I guess that makes sense. I'll click the link and go. Okay. So guys, that's ChatGPT in a nutshell. I'll give you guys my base prompt at the end of the week-long seminar in a module called Shit Lane Owes You. Okay. I need one of you guys to remind me of this. Okay. I owe you the calculator plugin and the lead follow-up sequence. Can I get a volunteer to remind me of that on Friday, please? Sweet. Okay. So let's dive into today. So before we do that, let's see, where is it? Day 3. Okay. So we're going to do a couple things. This is stupid. Where are we? Yeah. Okay. This is all old. Doesn't matter. Yep. Okay. Give me a second. Oh my God, this is crazy. So prepared today, Lane. All right. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to go over automated customer education. I'm going to take you through why that's important and why you shouldn't do it by hand. And then we're going to go into, I'm going to give you the basics of my fucker walk sales process, which for those of you that don't swear, call it take or leave. Anyway, so into the business. So here's the problem, guys. According to Sales Hacker, it takes 18 touches, right? Phone calls, texts, emails, smoke signals, carrier pigeons to turn a prospect into an appointment. According to Dr. Lant, sales psychologist, takes 7 touches to turn a prospect into a sale. So you're already in this for 25 touches. According to a TNS survey, 75% of Americans won't answer a call from a stranger. And according to Mail Munch, 21.33% of emails never get open or will get open, right? And interestingly, with attentive, SMS text is the winner. 97% gets open. And so here's the problem. You guys have enough on your plates, especially if you're a single operator. Are you seriously going to remember to do 18 unique follow-ups to every prospect and then create a sales system that has 7 individual meetings or touch points to convert a prospect into a sale? Or are we going to do the, I mean, like, we're all guilty of this. I mean, like, this is what happened to me in the beginning. You know, I would call within 5 minutes of lead drop because that's what Home Advisor told me to do. I would call at the end of the day. I may remember to call them each day. And after about 3 or 4 days, I just stopped calling. And my pitch was, hey, I saw you filled out information on my website. It'd be cool to get to talk to each other. I mean, like, come on, guys, like, confession time. Who here is like somewhat guilty of having an average sales process or follow-up process? Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to get at is, if we as owners, it's hard for us to do this. Give me a 1 if you accept that it will be hard to enforce on a employee to do this follow-up for you at the right times, with the right tonality and the right messaging, and track all of this shit and make sure we're getting at least 18 attempts before we stop calling a prospect, and make sure that we're following up at least 7 times after we drop the sales price, right? If you accept that is a pretty tall task, give me a 1. Okay, everyone's like, fuck you, Lane, I can do that. Okay, tough crowd today. Anyhow, so best practice, what I found, guys, is on day 1, you want to send a text and an email at 5 minutes and 1 hour. Days 2 through 7, you want to do this. And guys, and again, this is based off of observing 25 portfolio partners intimately, daily. So days 2 through 7, 9:30 a.m., 1:30 p.m., 6:30 p.m. 8 through 14, 9:30 a.m., 6:30 p.m. Days 15 through 21, obviously y'all can read, but this is the secret sauce right here. Yeah, first of all, what did we just do? We sent 42 text messages and 42 emails. That's actually, it's 41. I messed up. 41. So 82 touches. What did Sales Hacker say? 18 touches. So if the standard is 18 and you're programming 82, give me a 1 if you accept that anybody who is not just fucking around and is reasonably in the A tier or B tier will schedule an appointment with you as a result of pure volume. Exactly right, guys. Yep. Now, give me a 2 if you're at this point scratching your head trying to figure out how the fuck am I going to pull this off? Brian's like, just make it stop. Exactly. Schedule an appointment, damn it. It's for your own good. Yeah. Now, for the really stubborn ones that don't ask to stop being contacted, but haven't scheduled an appointment, every 30 days, guys, every 30 days, we need to SMS, we need to email and text them. Sorry. I was flying when I was creating this. You need to email and text them what I call the wedge splitter. The wedge splitter is a message where you're reaching out and you're saying, hey, you may remember this. I got your contact information from when you utilized our project calculator a while back. I just wanted to follow up with you to ask if you have moved forward with your project or put your plans on hold. And if you did move forward with the project, I wanted to let you know that at any point you do not feel that you are sufficiently being taken care of, I am here to answer any questions or give you any guidance or a second opinion that you would like. Right? You're acknowledging you didn't win, but at the same time, you're saying what you're doing is you're introducing yourself. Yeah, wedge splitter. I wanted to call this the back rubber because as a young man, the bane of my existence, because I was kind of a dick as a very young man. The bane of my existence were all these super beta nice guys that were my girlfriend's friends. And I knew what their strategy was. It was to basically be their friend and be their shoulder to cry on when Lane's being a giant prick. And then ultimately they catch her in a moment of fury. And next thing you know, I'm fired, right? We're using the same fucking strategy here. It's just automated. All right. Give me a 2 if you're following me. And like, give me a 1 if you foresee a possibility where a competitor of yours pisses off their client that you were pursuing. They get this email and all of a sudden you're having a conversation to take over the project. Give me a 1 if you accept that scenario could happen. Yeah, it's a Hail Mary, man. You never know if it's not going to be reliable, but it's a possibility. Right. So now that's just to get the appointment. Remember, we have another problem we have to solve. We got to get 7 touches into our sales process. Okay. And so the sales process starts the moment they schedule the appointment. And so before you meet with them, so I'm going to highlight your face-to-face meeting or your phone meetings. Basically anything that's human interaction is going to be highlighted in yellow. Everything else you can automate. But what I like to do is 4 touches before every meeting. And what I do is I schedule, or I have my sales guys, the next, like whenever you meet with a prospect, you have 2 objectives, either get a check or get a meeting, right? And so if we're not at the point to get a check, then you have 1 objective, which is get a meeting, right? So that's always part of this. And I want you to schedule a meeting at least a week out. That way you don't look thirsty, you look in demand, and it prevents the homeowner from feeling like they're being rushed. Yet it's just fast enough to efficiently move a deal from lead to signed design agreement within 28 to 45 days, which is really important because we want to collect that sweet upfront money in order to pay off our credit card. That is our marketing budget, right? So that's why this is all in, everything's so intertwined, man. So again, now, because you put it out a week, that's 4 business days. Okay. So each one of those business days, we need to be in front of them. There isn't a day that's going to go by from the moment they come into our ecosystem until they say they're going with somebody else, they've signed a deal with somebody else, that we aren't messaging them a value add. And we're not just giving away value for free. Every time we give away value, it has a spin. It has an angle that's designed to piss in the Wheaties of a specific competitor. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. So what I like to do before you have, so in your site your process, best practice, do a qualification call, then a site visit, then a design proposal. And this process is designed to efficiently figure out who's a tire kicker, and if they're a tire kicker, to stop spending time on them. Right. So leading up to the qual call, I like to drop my consumer awareness guide, which I'm going to show you today, my design guide, and my project management guide, and what I call the nuclear payload, right? All before my boys get on the phone to execute a qual call. And then at the qual call, has anybody heard the sales term BANT? Like, hey, you got to get BANT to make sure they're a qualified lead. Okay, well, BANT is correct. It's just in the wrong order. Because if you and I don't know each other and I start talking about money, what's going to happen? As a prospect, my guard's going to go up and I'm going to see you as every other asshole sales guy. So instead, we're going to go timeline. That's an innocuous question. Need, like, yeah, let me explain the flow to you. It'd be something like this. Hey, Brian, could you ballpark for me when you were thinking you want this project finished, cleaned up, and delivered to you. Notice I said ballpark because no one's going to have a date in their head. You're like, oh, I was thinking I really want my lake house designed by May or finished by May. Cool. So Brian, just out of curiosity, what is there like an event or some sort of need that's driving that specific timeline? Yeah, well, we have a family reunion coming in. I really want to enjoy the lake house for the summer. I'm like, okay, cool. Why am I doing that? So that I can hold their feet to the fire when they want to delay on a decision. Like, hey, if you don't get this decision done by X date, you're not going to get your house built in time for the family reunion. Right. So now I've established timeline and need. I can ask an innocuous question. Now, everybody fucking does this wrong because of Shin Fu. My God, I think Shin Fu is retarded. A much more elegant, classy way of accomplishing the objective of Shin Fu is to insert what I call a damning omission in the beginning. So something like, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and show our cards, even though we're not really, so that so the law of reciprocity, they feel obligated to show theirs. So I'm like, Brian, yeah, I just want to make sure we're a fit. So with structural kitchens, let's say you want to do an addition because we don't build new homes. So I'll be like, Brian, typically our 1,000 square foot additions start at about 270,000. Is that in the same ballpark as your budget, or should I find you find you another whatever? So a cleaner way of saying that is, I'm sorry, that was really bad. Be like, hey, so Brian, you want this 1,000 square foot addition. I'm going to be honest. Our 1,000 square foot additions start at 270 grand. Is that going to be an issue? Should we continue talking? And so at that point, he knows he's being shit tested. And this is the moment of truth. Like, I don't need to know what his range is. I don't need to bracket him. I just need to hit my bare minimum so that I know he's a valid prospect to negotiate with. Because if he's thinking 1,000 square foot addition, which for us at 270 a foot is a white fucking box, right? That's like the starting point. If he's in HGTV La La Land at $150, like there's no point talking. And so what I always train my sales guys is, 10 to 20%, right? So when you come firing with your number at 270 and they say, yeah, I was thinking 220, then your response is, yeah, that's not a problem. We could certainly value engineer down to that range, right? So you're already coming, I just wanted to make sure we were in the same ballpark. Okay, moving. So I call that the Olay, right? We're going to Olay that little shit test and drive on. So now we figured out what their initial number is, which, by the way, having done this a very long time, guys, I will tell you whatever number they give you, not at this point, but like the real number they give you at the site visit, whatever number they say is the max they have to spend, add 25 to 30% to that number. Just a little inside baseball. Anyway, so then the last thing is authority, and that's the classic. Instead of saying, how many decision makers are there? Just say, hey, is there anyone else who needs to have input on this decision to do a remodel? Okay, cool. Now we figured out who has the authority. Oh no, I'm in charge. Great. Now I'm talking to somebody who can give me a decision. So then the last thing you do is you schedule the site visit. Okay, so site visit scheduled. Now what'll happen at that point is ideally you have a CRM that you then change it from a qual call to site visit, and that initiates your site visit nurture. And so now we want to hit them up on contractor games, aka change orders, designer games, aka pillow pickers who can't design structural projects and get them past permitting, architect games, over designing past the budget, design build games, the blank check that you have to sign to do business with a design build company, and then how we're different, which is my 42-point lead to build SOP, which details every process from the moment you sign that design agreement to entering into a build contract, and all the different checks and balances to ensure that the project is designed within the budget and the client's happy, yada, 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 yada. When I trot out that lead to build SOP, like jaws tend to drop, even architects, their jaws tend to drop. And I'm like, yes, like, we are the Borg, join us or die. Okay. So at this point, they're now thinking they can't fucking trust anybody except us. And so now we go into the site visit. And so at your first site visit, your objective should be define the job scope, determine initial design guidance, build rapport, represent your consumer awareness guide, just as one final nail in the coffin that no, you don't need a solo contractor. They're not capable of doing this project. And also educate them on the lead to build SOP. And the same thing we're doing in this week, guys, I want you to do to your prospects. That's overwhelm them with information, problems, and your expertise. Why? So they literally just throw their fucking wall at you and the game is over. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, so oh my God, I'm almost done. So then after the site visit, we're not done yet. So now we want to educate them on every single nuclear offer you have in the arsenal that answers a client pain point and also makes you different. So if you're rolling design build RC style, that means you're not marking up materials. You're just reclassifying it as cost of project execution. It's a shell. I won't call it a shell game, but it is. No matter what Michelangelo says, who, by the way, is never mind. I was about to say something on recording. No builder change orders, right? Because you have airtight designs. If there's airtight designs, I, as a builder, can initiate a change order because everything in the specs is in the scope. Everything in the scope is in the specs, and the contract states that anything that is cited in the specs and drawn is getting fucking built at my expense. Okay, cool. Shop till you drop, which that separates you. So the no material markup, that's like the final nuke on the contractor. No builder change orders, that's another nuke on contractors and design build. Shop till you drop, that's against design build. Price match guarantee, also against design build, right? We're assuming at this point, if we're presenting a design proposal, we guys, we cannot go head to head and beat designers and architects at the design game. We can't, because in the customer's mind, they're the experts at drawing pretty pictures, and I want pretty pictures. Instead, we have to invalidate the fact that what they draw will feasibly get built. So that's why we're going to take a big steaming crap on non-design build contractors and the drawbacks of hiring design build to show why we're different. Does that make sense? So then you do your proposal and your follow-up. Okay. So who are our competitors whose nukes, in other words, their competitive advantage, we have to neutralize? So from the moment they come into our ecosystem through your calculator or your contact us page, guys, we have to neutralize Chuck in the truck / average Andy, the contractor. In other words, we got to make sure that the homeowner understands that those non-design capable contractors are swimming beyond their depth. That pillow picker Patty, though she can create really cool mood boards, she can't produce construction drawings. And then go against Deborah, the designer, that though she can produce really great layouts and mood boards, she can't produce exterior elevations. She cannot plan cabinetry down to a millimeter, right? In other words, you can't fucking rely on her. Asshole architect Amos. And the only reason I put that in there is like every architect I've ever met is super arrogant. And for the architects out here, guys, if you were good at math, you'd be called an engineer. And if you could build, you'd just be called a general contractor. So anyway, and so we have to neutralize them as a potential participant in this bidding process. And then we have to make ourselves, we're not going to shit on other design builders. Instead, we're going to put ourselves in a class separate from them. And you'll see what I mean by that in a second. Okay. So you're probably thinking, Lane, how? Like, well, we're going to accomplish all of that before the qualification call. Okay. And so now we're going to get into automated customer education. So guys, automated customer education, whatever CRM you use, they all can do this. I don't care if it's HubSpot, Infusionsoft, Go High Level, my own one, RevOps. They all can do this. It's just a question of, do you know how to code it? Because if you know how to code it, great, you're good, right? And so what we want to happen is every single one of these deliverables is that, you know, anything that's highlighted in yellow, that's human, right? That's whether on the phone, on Zoom, face-to-face. Everything else in white needs to be done. You just do it by email and text because they're not answering the phone anyway. Give me a 2 if that makes sense. Now, I'm not saying don't use the phone. What I'm saying is you automate your text and your email to get these touches in. And if you want to follow up with a phone call, great, that's extra. I love it. So, but guys, if you're following me, if you accept, yeah, Brian Horton's like it, definitely. Thank you. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, somebody please. All right. So now let's get into the consumer awareness guide. This is going to be a long one, guys. So consumer awareness guide. All right, let's pull this one up. Okay. So credit where credit's due. I actually borrowed this concept from a $30 million kitchen and bath company who was my #1 competitor in Kansas City called Jericho Home Improvement. And the way I got tipped off to this particular tactic of theirs was I simply had them bid my mother-in-law's master bathroom. But anyway, so, you know, here's a table of contents. You know, think of all the pillars that a homeowner, when they're evaluated, the way they're trained to evaluate a contractor is he stable? Because I don't want him running off. I want to be able to sue him if he fucks up. Does he have a reputation? This means he's likely going to fulfill his promises. Is he professional? Because if he's professional, then that means he's probably going to do a good job on the build. And workmanship. Is there any sort of guarantee on the workmanship? Guys, give me a 3 if these 4 concepts address what is commonly in the back of the mind of most homeowners when they're meeting with contractors who have never hired a contractor before. Yeah. Okay. So we want to do a letter from you with a nice little photo. And we just want to get, you know, on the same side as the homeowner. Like, you know, these are my 2 favorite call outs. This one, yeah, contractors are the most complained about industry. My latest one says the second most complained about industry after politics or Congress, just to get them to start giggling. Right. And then this one, it's like, oh man, I've held every job in the remodel industry coming up the hard way. I'll tell you, the industry standards just aren't tough enough. Like, man, I like where this is going. Right. So now we want to show your team. So even if you don't have an in-house architect, do you have a relationship with one? Have you had coffee with one? Okay, great. We're throwing them in here. Right. Your director of construction, even if you don't have 3 project managers requiring a director of construction, we can throw you in there if you're the builder, or we can throw in your lead carpenter or your best guy, right? On the designers, do you know and have you had coffee with a pillow picker? Can you go on Instagram and set up coffee with one? Great, throw her in this, right? And the managing director, it's like, do you have a spouse? Great, put her in that too, right? Show a team. Yeah. So then we want to show in-house financing. The only reason why we put this in here is even if you straight up say, they're never going to ask you, do you offer financing? Yeah, in the premium segment. But if you offer it, they'll consider it. So just throw this out there. And for projects above 100 grand, you can't get financed through Hearth or Enhancify. What you need is you need a mortgage loan officer who has remodel or home improvement loan products. Just go find that guy. Good to go. Right. Your insurance certificate. Okay. Your contractor's license. You're in a state that doesn't have a contractor's license. Fine. Your articles of incorporation or any other licensing or credentials you have. Right. Then your reputation. Let's take a snapshot of your Google. You don't have a lot of reviews. That's fine. Get all your friends and family to go to Google and write a review about your character, a testimony to your character. That's just as good as a review. Hardly anybody actually except for the super analytical types, read them. They just look to see the number and the star rating, right? And you want to keep your star rating between a 4.8 and a 4.9. 4.7, I guess. So 4.7 to 4.9. Anything below 4.7, you need a black hat guy in your corner to paper over unfair, bad reviews. And anything over 4.9 is unrealistic. Okay, so awards. Guys, the Better Business Bureau Torch Award for Ethics is a fucking joke. Oh my God. It is literally pay to play and it's worth getting. Okay. Also, every NARI chapter does Cody Awards every year. If you don't know what that is, go join your local NARI chapter. Just by joining the NARI chapter, attending some meetings and being a good guy with fairly good project photos, they're gonna find a category to give you an award, right? And then every single town has a lifestyle magazine, right? For Durham, it's called Durham Magazine. When I was an executive at CQC Home, when I owned my own shop in Kansas City, it was called 435 Magazine. Either way, it's a popularity contest. It's a joke. If you don't have the database of past customers, family, friends, realtors, et cetera, to vote for you, that's totally cool. We can spin the votes and do this John Fitzgerald Kennedy style and just straight up buy the election. Again, it doesn't mean anything. It's not. They don't evaluate your craftsmanship. I personally have no ethical problem with. All you're doing is just incentivizing people to take time out of their day to voice their opinion. Anyway, that was my best. Anyway, so last thing, customer references. You don't have to actually list them. Just list the names and cities. Okay. Maybe the best review you ever got as a call out, and then a picture of a stock photo picture of an empty nester couple. Yep. Yeah, Brian's like, this is gangster. So then your detailed project proposal and price integrity. So all we're doing is calling out the dickhead contractors that write down a half-assed scope and scribble a piece of or a price on the back of a crumpled piece of paper and call that an estimate. Right? This is the only point of this page. Okay. Then down here, detailed daily reporting. And so all we're doing, like this is a snapshot of a client portal from CoConstruct. If you can't afford CoConstruct, you can't afford JobTread, you can't afford BuilderTrend, which fuck BuilderTrend. That's fine. You can recreate all of this in a Google Drive folder. So again, just, we'll just show the photo so you can show them that you're communicating. Why? Because I literally, guys, I spent a lot of time researching this. Inside, I call them Karen covens. A coven is a group of witches. Basically different homeowner HOA Facebook groups, and paid attention and like scraped every time they were bitching about a contractor. And one of the biggest bitches is a lack of communication. So I was like, that's easily solved. We'll get a client portal, done. Then we just do a daily job log. You edit it first, because I don't want a knuckle dragging builder writing that and then Karen seeing that, because she will have a fucking heart attack. So somebody who is like experienced in customer service or sales needs to translate builder into rich lady English. Give me a 2 if you understand, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. All right. Okay. So architect drawn plans and permit. Enough said, right? This is a dig at any contractors like, let's go ahead and get started. We'll just plan it on the way and I'll get the permit for us. Like, not so fast, sport. Yeah. And so then now we get into what my buddy Kyle calls bow tie spinning. But this is our no tricks, no pressure sales agreement, which you can't read this, but I'll call this out to you. I will not sell products or services to customers when they are not financially capable of managing the investment. I will not utilize high pressure techniques to force customers to comply with my requests. I will educate my customer on all sides of the decision, and I will give them ample time without pressure to make that decision, right? So I literally have my sales guys come with this signed as part of their packet at the site visit to hand them and walk them through. Oh my God, it's gangster. The job site cleanup roster. Why? Because all these Karens complain about how contractors are filthy pigs. No shit. One of my portfolio partners got an angry call in the middle of us doing a financial review of his company to bitch about a single sewed up trash bag in her garage in the place that she designated as the trash pile during demo. I can't make this up. Anyway, so that's why we have this job site cleanup roster. And sure enough, Kyle was like, hey, remember that roster I signed? Can you show me where in these in those 13 points that we're violating our cleanup policy that we agreed upon with you? No? Okay, like I'll go clean it up, but like, I just want to bring this point of policy where I just want a point of accuracy. We are meeting our promises to you, Karen. And then that makes her calm down because she's being heard, but at the same time, she's being corrected. All right, moving forward. Yeah. Yeah, so then the worker conduct agreement. I will not use foul language on the job site. Man, this one gets me every time. I will not smoke inside the customer's home. I will not consume alcohol or do drugs in the customer's home. I will play radio. I will play any radios or music on the job site quietly. Translation to the guys. Hey, fellas, if it sounds like a quinceañera when I turn the corner and all I hear is mariachi, we have a problem, right? And so, like, guys, with all these documents, these aren't set in stone. Anytime we run into an issue that costs us money or costs us rapport or just gives us a headache, we add it to whatever appropriate checklist that is, that our subs are signing, that our customers are signing, that our employees are signing. That way, as the GC, we're just holding everybody accountable to past agreements before the problem starts. Case in point, I can't make this up. I had a guy literally strip naked and take a nap in the customer's home. And they saw it because they had one of those Ring cameras in their bedroom. So for that particular portfolio partner, on their job site board, one of these things is literally, it says, keep your clothes on and don't take a nap in the customer's bedroom. Sometimes you have to have fun with this. Okay, so background checks and drug screening, the money back guarantee. This is where all of you, your sphincters start tightening up. Like, Lane, what are you getting me into? Relax. When you read this document, I'll read it to you. It literally says, in order to obtain a refund, you must pay in full when the original installation is completed in accordance with the terms of your contract with us. In other words, you can't withhold your money. You must notify CQC Home by certified or registered mail. That's going to buy us 2 weeks. Within 30 days of installation, okay, now we're 6 weeks out, specifically detailing any deficiencies in the products or installation. In other words, lady, go get if you're going to need to hire a home inspector who can argue building code to win this one. CQC Home must then be given 120 days from receiving the above notice in order to inspect and correct the deficiencies. If at the end of 120 days from receipt of notice in the above described manner, CQC Home is unable to correct the deficiencies so that the products and installations meet the applicable building codes. Notice I'm talking about codes, not their preferences. CQC Home will remove the defective product from your home and refund the purchase price of the defective component or product. In other words, I'll tear it out and I'll give you the money to go hire somebody to go fix it. Have fun. Guys, I'm telling you, the devil's always in the details. Like, if an offer is too good to be true, read the terms and conditions, especially when you're dealing with me. Give me a 3 if that makes sense. Like, do you feel protected here? I do. Like, give me a 1 if you accept that. Yeah, exactly. So then the last one, just photos of your past projects. And then this FAQ, like, are there any other things I should look for? I'm like, yeah. Phone numbers that ring to cell phones, phone numbers that never answered by receptionists, few Google reviews or a wide gap between Google and Better Business Bureau, prices that are unusually low compared to other bids, right? In other words, we're already shitting on Chuck in the Truck. No website or very poor website, ability to start on your job immediately. Man, we are just neutralizing Chuck right from Jump Street. Okay. You know, so on and so forth. And then another letter where you get on the same side as them. And here's the one. If you think our approach is fair and honest, please consider us for your remodeling needs. Cool. And then this checklist, the boomers actually use it. And what I love about this is we have 100% A+ pass, and our competitors don't even know they're being evaluated or what they're being evaluated on. And if that's not enough, now we talk about what we're different. A master craftsman. I made that term up. It's I say that's anybody, over 100 successful projects with over 10 years experience and a 99% minimum quality score. Who sets the standards for the quality score and does the inspections? Me. All right. So I just love it. I can just only imagine when a homeowner who receives this consumer awareness guide asks one of our competitors, so do you employ master craftsmen? And what are their standards? Got them. And if that's not enough, like, I literally invented this term for the industry, project director. Like, we're the only remodeler who employs project directors. That's a single point of contact through design and build. The person who sells you the job, manages the design, manages the build, troubleshoots your problems, and delivers the job at closeout. And they're there to guarantee the project on time, on budget, on standard. It's like, well, CQC employs project directors. How many project directors do you have working for you? I'm a sales rep, ma'am. I'm a sales associate. Get out of here. Oh, I love it. Yeah. So guys, that's the consumer awareness guide. That's the first thing they get when or that they should get after they submit a lead to you. Right? Now, the rest is easy. Design guide. All right. The whole point of the design guide, and mine is 54 pages long, I'll spare you the excruciating detail, is it's just to get their HGTV juices going and to talk like a pillow picker. And all I do every year, guys, is and it's about that time when I'm going to update this, but I literally go to Google and I type 2024 design trends HGTV, 2024 design trends Martha Stewart, whoever is hot. And then I find really, really good pillar articles and concepts. I throw that to ChatGPT and tell it to rewrite me a 10-page ebook on that, based on that article. And then I compile them all together into one big giant design guide. That's the process. And then I send it to my graphics editor to add pretty pictures. Done. And you look like a stud. Does that make sense, guys? So that's how, like, you can literally be a Chuck in the Truck one-man band and look like you are a sophisticated design builder. Give me a 1 if you accept that. I just gave you the game. Okay. So now last but not least, another one that I like is the project management guide, project management. Okay. Let me find one. Come on. We'll say Manta project management. All right. Yeah. So I'll post this, guys. Not a big deal. If you want to borrow it, that's cool. Yeah, so all we do is we very intellectually explain the problems associated with design bid build. In other words, when the architect is separate from the contractor, you get delayed projects that go past budget, right? And you don't get the opportunity to value engineer the project, right? And we spell it out. And then the problems with design, right? So, failure of the team to be familiar with the latest construction costs, disputed redesign expenses, cheaper is better mentality. The GC is brought on too late to value engineer. There's disputes between the architect, design, and GC, which slows the project and leads to expensive change orders. Damn, that sucks. Can't hire that architect now, can I? So and I talk about how we mitigate the weakness of design bid build, right? And so then I talk about how we mitigate the weaknesses of design build. So we're better than design bid build. We're better than design build. And what the fuck are we? We're a category of 1, baby. We are CQC home. So, yeah. So anyway, guys, and so then at that point, it's just using your creativity, thinking to yourself very strategically, bringing it on home, right? I need, at the very least, you need a document to neutralize other contractors, a document to neutralize designers and pillow pickers, and a document to neutralize architects and design builders in order to truly pre-position you as a category of 1. So guys, imagine you're a homeowner. You just got those 3 things. And then, oh my God, we're not done yet. And then excuse me, clients. Where are you, Kane? And we're going to go to SOP library, clients, lead nurture, client lead nurture, right. So then they get this nuclear payload dropped on them. Hey, homeowner, at first glance, many contractors look and sound alike. They beat their chests about quality and years in business. I don't know about you, but years in business seems irrelevant to me without understanding their performance via reviews and completed real project pictures. So what sets us apart is fourfold. We guarantee your design will support your budget, your vision, and be delivered on time. Oh, we are the only luxury remodeler who credits the value of any unused design hours to your build contract. Wait, that architect said nothing about that. We are the only design build firm that allows you to shop our design with outside contractors so you know you are getting the best value for your project. Hold up. That design build said he owned the plans. And we're the only contractor in name your market who gives back to the community. We donate $25 when you schedule your appointment with us. We do $100 when you accept our design agreement, $250 when you accept our build, $250 when you leave an honest review. Now, why the fuck do I do that? Because every review we get is another nail in our competition's coffin. It's just one more horse in a horsepower race for our engine to get to the finish line first for the sale. You know, this is to grease the skids. This is what's, oh my man, doing business with you. I am supporting causes I identify with. So now I identify you with that cause. Now, this particular client did not want to specify a charity. I really want you guys to call one out that everybody can get behind. Okay, everybody can get behind kids. Everybody can get behind education. Everybody can get behind solving cancer and hunger. Just try not to keep, don't make it political, please, or religious, please. Unless you are in Utah, then absolutely make it political and religious. Right, puppies and babies. So if you'd like to see our past projects of ours for your inspiration, click here, our gallery. If you'd like more information about us, click here, about us. If you'd like to know about our process behind our risk-free guarantee, click here. If you'd like to see our reviews, click here. And I can't wait to meet you. So now, guys, before you even rolled into the qual call, they've been educated why they can't hire a regular contractor, why they shouldn't hire a regular contractor, why they shouldn't hire a pillow picker or an interior designer separate from a contractor, why they shouldn't hire an architect separate from a general contractor, and the drawbacks to design build, while presenting how you are wildly different from any other design build firm you've talked to. Guys, are you at this point walking uphill to the sale, or are you running downhill? Give me a 1 if you think uphill. Give me a 2 if you think if you're running downhill. Guys, anybody? Yeah, you're running downhill, baby. So that is automated customer education. It's a pain in the ass to set up, but what you do it once and then you reap the benefits forever. I literally have portfolio partners that call me and tell me that the homeowner decided that they were just going to sign the design agreement because of the consumer awareness guide and the lead to build SOP. I'm like, great, right? Purely competing on credibility, right? And then we use our nuclear offers to address, so we use our lead nurture to zap us to the top of credibility. And then we use our offers to give weight to us being the most expedient and the least hassle. Does that make sense, guys? Are you seeing the matrix now of how this all intertwines? and why I had to teach you guys about the value equation on day one for all of this shit to make sense. So I hope I've given, yeah. So well, shoot, speaking of the devil. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So at this point, guys, we're a little late for time. This is automated customer education. Tomorrow, we're going to get eyeballs deep into take it or leave it sales process. In other words, your qual call, your site visit, and your proposal. I'm going to give you a framework for how to set yourself up for success at each stage of the sale. So now, like, remember, going back into the training, what have we covered? We've gone over the strategy for how we should approach the marketplace and make ourselves irresistible via nuclear offers that address the client's problem at the stage they're at in the client journey. And then we went through how to generate the traffic and convert that traffic efficiently into leads. Today, we went through how to turn those leads into appointments and educate them before you show up so that all their answers are covered in order to, number one, get you running downhill, but number two, shorten your appointments. Because at that point, you've addressed every burning question in their mind. At that point, it's just reminding them, like whenever they ask a question, pointing to the literature to get the answer. You want to start training them to do that right then and there, rather than giving them the answer. Why? To show them that you are, number one, you're busy. Two, you're professional. Three, you've already thought through this, which means four, you're organized. Five, this ain't your first rodeo. Six, you can be trusted to keep your promises. So if you deliver credible promises and you say you're the fastest, I accept that you're the fastest. You say you're the least hassle, I believe it. You're the least hassle. You're already 80% there to the sale, guys. All you have to do at this point is shoehorn the design into their wallet and put a contract in front of them. Give me a 3 if that sounds good, if that's what you want. Or do you want to just keep slamming your head against a wall or against a keyboard, waiting for something useful to ooze out? Like, I don't know. Yeah. So, all right. So that's where we're at. Let me stop share. What I owe you in the shit that Lane owes me file, I owe you the my base document follow-up. I'll tell you this right now. If you just copy and paste that, or you use that base file or that base document as is, you're gonna get embarrassed because I'm sure a million other assholes are doing that. So use ChatGPT to personalize it, okay? And then from there, yeah. So that'll correct that. The other thing, do not use the design guide, the PM guide, the consumer awareness guide word for word. You're gonna get embarrassed. There's already people in the marketplace using it. So if we're not working together, just rest assured somebody in your market is already using that. And so you need to make it unique and yours. Does that make sense, guys? And plus, I don't want you guys getting a nasty letter from my legal department. So please, like, you can go ahead and keep the content the same. I'm sorry, the spirit, the intent of the content the same for each page, but you got to mix up the design and the actual content itself, or there's going to be a problem. Okay. Next thing, the other thing I owe you. Yeah, the calculator. Yeah, you'll have that plugin in there. So let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, on top of the take it or leave it sales process, may I have your permission? Give me a 1 if I have your permission to take you through the evolution of a remodeler from owner operator, one-man band to $11 million company like CQC. Actually, CQC is 14 now. Okay. So I'll do that tomorrow on top of taking you through the take it or leave it process. And then after hours, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek at Lainey. I'm super proud of this to show you just how freaking black belt this is, and all the coding behind Lainey to get her to do her thing live on text. Like, I'll show you a text conversation live in front of you. And then Friday, we'll do the big reveal of Get RevOps and how this solves your lead gen problems, your appointment setting problems, your automated customer education, and it supports your take it or leave it sales process. But yeah, so tomorrow's gonna be a good one. And for the guys that are on Facebook Live, take it easy. We're now gonna go into after hours, where I'll give you guys the unfiltered answers to your questions.